Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the Slow County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 011119111.
I don't know if he was fat. He's a 20-year-old guy, and he was flying with United when he went into the bathroom.
There's fat 20-year-olds.
Didn't come out for 20 minutes. That's when the flight attendant went back to the guy he was sitting with and said, "Are you with that guy?" And he said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, he's been in the bathroom for 20 minutes. Would you mind going up there and checking on him?" I mean, you're a flight attendant. Why can't you just knock on the door and say, "Hey, everything okay in there?"
I don't take no orders from no woman, by the way. By the way, I don't take no orders from no women.
So the guy, he's like, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just constipated. So give me a few minutes." So then 10 minutes later, he's still in there. Now the pilot gets involved. The pilot's like, "Come on, this guy's getting out of this bathroom."
How's the pilot getting involved? Get back up there and fly that friggin' plane.
He's got the co-pilot. Co-pilot, hold the stick.
I'm going to go
bang on this. I'm going to go bang on this door.
Well, that should be the co-pilot's job. I want the pilot to remain in the cockpit at all times. You don't get to get out and stretch your legs.
"Hey, buddy. Oh, I'm constipated." He's like, "You need to get out of this bathroom right now." He's like, "God, just go away. I need my rights." So then...
You better put your ass in gear then.
Yeah. That was the problem. "I can't get my ass in gear." So then the pilot says, "All right, go into the deal there." They bust the door open. Apparently there's some way you can do it pretty quick because he got in there pretty quick. He opens the door. The guy's still sitting there with his junk hanging out between his legs and his pants around his ankles, and everybody on this side of the airplane that can look right into the bathroom saw everything. And now he's upset. He's embarrassed, and he's suing the airlines.
And he should sue the airlines.
Come on, dude. You've been in there 30 minutes. Listen, if the pilot comes to the door and says you need to get out, you say, "All right, listen, I can't poop. I'm trying, but I can't."
Why don't you
let me get my pants
Explain to him what's going on. Let him explain to him what's going on. Be like, "This is very painful." I'm guessing it was painful for him to remain in there. No, nobody wants to just hang out in there.
No, it's a terrible place.
No.
Everybody pees all over the place. I don't care who you are. They're peeing all over the place in there.
Well, if you're the first one to it, though, it's in the best condition it's going to be in all flight.
Well, yeah. I don't know if he was the first or he was probably the last. The door came off. They both got handcuffs. I'm not really sure why they handcuffed and arrested the guy that he was with, because I mean, maybe he probably got mouthy. Apparently, they're both Orthodox Jews, and the guy that's making the claim that was constipated, that was backed up, he says the pilot made some kind of
What, you wouldn't stick up for me if I was in that situation and they broke down the door? No. I'd stick up for that guy. No, I'd stick up for you. I'd stick up for you. I'd be like,
I would go in there and I'd say, "Hey, Jeff," I'd be like, "What?" And I'd be like, "Listen, dude,
you put your ass in gear then."
Exactly. Put your ass in gear. It won't go into park. It won't go into drive. So I'd be like, "You need to get out of there, man. You've been in there 20 minutes. And a lot of people have to use the bathroom."
I can't do it. Man. You don't understand.
I'm like, you're obviously not going because you're constipated. So just pull your pants up and be constipated in your seat.
Oh, it's so painful, though, sometimes. It's so painful.
I've never been that constipated. I've had the opposite. My problem.
Settle down and settle the mind down.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to settle down.
It's just watch Making a Murderer again. You got all the drops back.
I know. It's just they weirdly enough work right now.
So they're both suing the airlines. They were detained and held and then released without filing charges. They decided not to file charges, but now they're suing the airlines. So just know there is a time limit on the bathroom at 30,000 feet, and it's somewhere around 20 minutes.
If for whatever reason, I would totally break down if they broke down the door, I would sue too. I'd be like, dude, that's super embarrassing.
He didn't even have his pants up.
They were
when
arrested.
They were trying to bust detained. In. You could hear him trying to open the door.
There's two bathrooms on the flight, right? So there's just a little bit longer line at the other one. You know? So it's like what And how full was this flight? I mean, was it justified? Was the breaking down of the door and the pilot getting involved and the big deal that was made out of the whole thing, was it justified? And that's what a judge has got to figure out. And it would have to take a lot. Ooh, that reminds me, I got a call for jury duty tonight. I got a jury duty summons. Luckily, the first
Tell them you're constipated.
I'm
never going to be able to make it. I'm constipated.
Well, you can go ahead and have this case if you'd like, but it's going to take me a while to get back from the lunch recess. So you better get your what do they call the alternates? So they get those alternate juries ready because they're going to be called from the bullpen if that's the case. But no, the judge has to look at it and say, okay, was it justified? I mean, was it justified to make that big of a scene out of a guy?
How about the fact that there's 80, 100 other people on this plane and they have to use the bathroom too? You can't just tie something up. You can't just tie up the bathroom for 30 minutes. What if somebody dies in there?
What if somebody dies in there?
Well, then they pull them out and they put them on the side and let somebody go in there and take a crap.
Actually, I heard a story last week about a guy that somebody died in the middle of the flight, and the only empty seat was next to him. He thought he was getting a lucky flight, but then they stuck him next to him, and he's like, "Are you serious? You're gonna stick this dead person next to me?" He's like, "They said, don't worry, we'll be landing in a few hours. You'll be fine." And
no, I'm getting off this plane, or you're getting this body off this plane, and you're refunding me. You're going to give me first class wherever I want to go. Like, wait a second, there's negotiation if I have to sit next to a dead guy.
Nope. No negotiation, apparently. This is what sucks about the airlines right now. Is like they don't. They took it in the shorts for like a year and a half for no reason, and then now they're trying to get people for as much as they possibly can, and they're also being mean to everybody about it.
Now
like in this case, I wonder if it's really justified to kick that guy out. Like clearly he had an issue. Like it should have been evident when you bust open the door and he's not pulling up his pants and he's just sitting there trying to do what he initiated to do when he went in there.
Jeff, you and I disagree.
And now you've
on
embarrassed
this.
him.
Very much so. I mean, you've been in there 30 minutes.
Is it selfish?
If you couldn't take a dump. Is it
selfish? I don't know.
If you couldn't take a dump in 30 minutes, you don't belong in there anymore. Get out.
But you
go somewhere else.
have constipation issues. You don't know what it's like. You've not sat on a throne.
Maybe you ought to go down to Los Osos Valley Road and hold a sign and show us a protest. For anti-constipation people.
What I'm saying is you have never sat a day in that guy's ass.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at KZOC.com.